Hi, my name is Lana Bashinsky, and this is the first of several podcasts we will be bringing to you. In the weeks leading up to GDC, we'll be meeting and conducting a brief interview with the speakers involved in the animation microtalks at this year's Animation Bootcamp. I'm honored to be here today with Gwen Frey. Hi, Gwen.
Hi, Lana.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Fantastic. We're going to keep it kind of short because as is, this is going to be a nice long introduction to what will be a pretty energetic and brief period of time we'll be spending together at GDC. So let's just jump right into it. How about you introduce yourself for us?
Sure thing. My name is Gwen. I'm a technical animator. I've been an animator in the industry for about 8 years now. The last game I shipped was BioShock Infinite.
Cool.
And after, yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but after we shipped that, I got together with about 5 other people, and I founded a small indie studio here in Boston. And I've been an indie developer ever since. We've actually, we're about to ship our first title. I can't tell you the date we're about to ship it. It's in early access right now, and we're going to announce the launch date next week.
Oh, fantastic. So maybe people will get a little taste at GDC?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really want to like pimp my indie game at a 10-minute talk. I feel like 10 minutes is a pretty short amount of time. I don't want to spend too much of it talking about the flame and the flood, but
that's fair. Maybe you could just we'll do a brief tagline later, and you can just, what's the word? I can't think of it. We can do the marketing spiel of the last end of this interview here. Do you want to give a quick overview of your talk? Do you have a tagline or something for what your micro talk will be about this year?
Sure. It was pretty cool when you guys reached out to me because I'm doing a serious talk. I'm doing a half-hour talk about quadruped locomotion for the main conference. But for the animation bootcamp, you and Mike reached out to me, and you described do something light, something fun, something 10 minutes, and I just instantly knew what to do. I want to do something. I want to talk about all the ways that being an animator kind of makes you weird, all the little habits you pick up and all the little quirks that tend to come with being an animator.
All the things that to the untrained eye, you can seem like any other sort of psycho that you might find roaming late at night.
Yeah, animators tend to have eccentric personalities. They tend to be very animated people, and I that's why I love working with them. That's why I love this job so much.
Awesome. So what inspired you to do that? Just thinking of something light and fun, or did you have a particular thing that struck you before sitting down to write this out?
Well, I worked as a rigger for a really long time, and I've worked with a lot of animators, and now I'm in a studio where I'm the only animator. And so I went from being the rigger in a group of animators, so the sane one, to being the crazy one in the room. So it just kind of it's where my heart's at. I love working with animators, and when there's an animation boot camp talk to be done, I knew I had to talk about this.
Wonderful. I don't know if I would ever say the technical artists at my work always sort of congregate around each other, or technical artists, technical animators, and I definitely feel like they are never the sane ones. The insane amount of jargon that sort of spills out of their mouths at any given time is so that's crazy talk if you ask me. But
oh, come on. We all have our own language. We all have our own little quirks and our own little, every city you go to, you wind up picking up different terms and things. Oops, what's wrong? Hello?
Good. Hello?
Hello?
I think I dropped for a second there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Sorry. I have no idea what happened. I don't know what that's going to sound like on the live recording, if that's going to sound like you dropping or me dropping or whatever's happening. But let's jump in. I've got a little questionnaire here for you. And just a little get to know you. So people who are showing up at GDC will sort of get the vibe for a bit of who you are and what these micro talks are going to feel like. And if you don't mind, can I ask you a couple questions?
Absolutely.
So first things first, if you could do anything other than what you're currently doing, what would you be doing?
Oh my God, I have no other skills. Shit.
It doesn't have to be something you're skilled at, just something that you would
burgers.
do. Flipping burgers? No way.
No. I mean, I guess I'd probably be a programmer. That sounds terrible, but I don't like. I can't imagine not working in games. It's my skill set is so weird, right? Especially since I started as a rigger, so knowing anatomy and a little bit of programming and a lot of animation doesn't really translate to anything else.
So
So
did you have like a weird hobby?
yeah, it's kind of I enjoy yoga. I don't know. I flip between hobbies a lot. So I'm pretty schizo when it comes to picking up various hobbies.
Schizo or well-rounded?
Well-rounded. Ooh, see? That's good.
It's a positive twist.
Hell yeah. All right, so I'd be a super well-rounded for a living.
Good. That's what I would do. That's what I am all the time, but mostly in the I like to eat lots of donuts, well-rounded sense. What would you say you're most excited about for GDC 2016?
There's a lot of talks I want to see. And if I'm being totally honest, the most exciting thing about GDC is always running into people I used to work with or people I knew from back in the day, because I used to live in San Francisco.
Oh, wonderful. Me too.
So yay. Really?
Yeah.
Can I ask you where?
Yeah, all over the place. I was there sort of in the Tender Knob area, and then I moved to the financial district, like Soma, and then I was in the Mission just before I left.
Oh my God.
What about you?
I lived mostly on the peninsula, so I lived in like San Mateo most of the time.
Oh, wonderful.
I didn't actually live in the city proper. I realized I should have specified that.
It's all the Bay, baby.
Yeah, it's all in the Bay. I loved it there. I miss it so much. We get so much snow, and it is so cold in Boston. It's the worst here. You're still in California at least.
Yeah, I'm originally Canadian, so I certainly know about the snow and the cold.
Oh, no. All right. You can one up me there. Canada gets a little bit chilly.
Yeah, just a little though. So where in San Francisco were you, and how long were you there?
Oh, I worked for a studio called Gazillion for quite a while. Initially, the studio got renamed several times. At one point, it was Slipgate Ironworks, and I was working on a MMO for John Romero. And after that, I was working on a game called Marvel Heroes Online. And then I moved to Boston, and I spent several years at Irrational.
Cool. So your most exciting thing about coming to GDC is sort of like being around that very particular Bay vibe again and seeing all your
avocados and old friends and stuff. And I will say, like, I don't know if I'm excited as much as terrified, but I am giving a main conference talk this year, and that's consuming a great deal of my mental energy at the moment.
Is this the first time you'll be speaking at GDC?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. What you said it was about quadruped locomotion.
Yeah.
What day, what time can people come check you out?
Oh, I don't think they've posted it yet.
No.
This is the one thing. So I'm kind of new to this. This is my first time giving a talk, but from what I can tell, I don't get to know when my talk is until like the world does. I think we all find out at the same time.
Well, listeners, you better know that Gwen Frey's talks, the micro talk and the quadruped talk, are both TBD. Keep an eye out.
Clearly. I'm more excited for the micro talk, though, obviously. That's going to be super fun.
I agree. I'm so excited. This is also my first time I've been involved in GDC. I was one of the volunteers for a really long time. It's also my first time speaking at the conference, though. And just as a very, very convenient segue here, speaking of first times, what is your worst or funniest mistake that you made as a rookie on your first gig?
Okay. I wasn't Oh, on my first gig.
Or
Oh,
on any gig, really. You could just talk about something
okay.
embarrassing if you
I have
want.
stories. I mean, there's the classic on my first gig. Everybody does this that day when you accidentally check out all of Perforce. I did that. I was one of
Mhm,
those people,
mhm,
which is infuriating. So there is a story that literally just came to me now. This was when I was working on Marvel Heroes Online, and we were talking about Miss Marvel and how we wanted her to look, and how the art director and everybody was sitting around, and we were talking about how we want somebody who looks strong but still effeminate.
mhm,
And we were specifically discussing the torso in this character's model. And I thought of, at the time, Transformers had just come out, and I was thinking of the actress from Transformers. So I Google her and I pull up a picture of her, and I on my computer, because we're having this talk in my pod right behind me.
mhm.
And I turn around and I'm continuing the conversation. And I just go, yeah, you know, like, what if, I mean, this actress has a great stomach. What if it looks something like this? And I'm gesturing behind me. And I didn't know that the banner ads on the side of the webpage had changed to just be porn, like hardcore porn, like just a giant cock at the same banner ad on either side of the page. And my art director, everybody goes silent, and I have no idea what's going on because my back is turned, right? And my art director just goes, Gwen, I don't think that's appropriate. And I'm just shocked, like, what? It's just a stomach. How PC can we be? And then I turn around and I see it. And it's just like a slow motion. No! I'm trying to cover the screen. Oh my God. Dave Brevik, the studio director, was there. The art director was there.
Oh my
That's
God.
like, that's like probably the most embarrassing, worst moment
That
in my
is
career.
glorious and mortifying. Oh, my heart is so happy hearing that, which is terrible. I'm so sorry. That is so funny. That's a way to make an impression.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my
Like
God.
everybody remembers Gwen, right? Miss Marvel, if you know what I mean. Um, sorry. Oh man, fantastic.
Yeah.
So, what would you hope? I'm going to go a little out of order here. What would you hope that people would take away from the micro talks?
Oh, I mean, I think GDC is a great way to recharge your batteries. I think it's a great way to kind of reinvigorate you and get you excited about what you do again. Because, like, when you do something long enough, eventually you hate it, you get bored, you get going in and animating every single day, it gets boring after a while. And so I hope people come to the micro talks a little bit, like, not necessarily burned out, but ready to get pumped up again and ready to get excited and ready to just be happy to be an animator, because this is like a great job. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not like selling insurance here. This is actually a really fun job. And I hope people come away from the talks feeling really happy and really fulfilled.
Wonderful. This is just good motivation. Just like the creative juices flowing out of that room. Wonderful. So what
There's
would
a lot of juices flowing at GDC.
that's yes. That'll be the micro talk after meetup. So what would you say is your favorite piece of video game or animation jargon?
Ah, I know the perfect one for this. So there's a term that I've only ever heard in Boston. I said how like every studio kind of has their own words and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and like every discipline does. But in Boston, it's frob. Um,
Frob.
yes, to frob something, which
Okay.
is everybody, all the like harmonics, irrational, everyone here will use that term and they'll just expect you to understand them. So you'll start for your first day here, like say you're at irrational or harmonics or turbine or something. And they'll be like, yeah, well, when the player frobs this, we want this to happen. And everybody that's new always goes, what? Because everybody understands it. It means roughly to interact with or like to run up and hit a button is to frob something.
I've never heard that before. Does it stand for something? It's like where's the root of that word?
The root, it comes from MIT. Like some mechanical engineer came up with it, and then it was used commonly at Looking Glass, and it's just worked its way into like the lexicon here in Boston. all game developers in Boston know this term frob. And they don't to the point where it's like not knowing what the word coffee means. They're like, no, you just frob it.
Man, crazy.
You frob it. You're like, what? That makes no sense. And it's such a funny word. Frob?
Yeah.
Say that and try not to laugh a little.
I'm just going to start saying it at work and hopefully and never explain it and just assume, like, make sure everybody else feels really inferior because they don't know. They don't know about the frob.
Oh,
they've never frobbed a frob.
Now you're thinking like a New Englander.
Yeah. Me and Stephen King, someday we will frob. He's the only person I know from that New England area. I read all his books. I didn't mean it. It came across not quite the way that I meant it to. Or maybe. I hope he never hears this. Well, if there's one project you could have frobbed or worked on but didn't, what would it be and why?
Okay, so I sat down. You sent me these questions about an hour ago, and I thought about what my instinct was. Oh, well, something really cool. Something like, what if I had worked on the first Uncharted or the very first Assassin's Creed as a technical animator? What if I had architected some system that's like stands up and holds a test of time for like a decade? And that was my instinct at first. And then I thought about it, and I was like, nah, if I could go back in time and have worked on one project, it'd probably be COD, because then I'd have enough money to just do whatever I wanted for the rest of my life. And so, like, if we're just going to be completely honest, I'd probably say if I could go back in time and work on one major project, it'd probably be something with like a really solid bonus.
It's super, super lucrative.
Yeah,
always
basically.
It's a good reason for anything.
It's
especially if you're developing now. Like, you could go on. I love the idea of using, your job to create, to then take that time and then create what you really want to be making.
Oh yeah, totally. That's what I'm doing. I'm really excited about it. It's pretty fun.
I can't wait to see what you've been working on.
Yeah, me neither.
So we just have a couple more questions here. And by a couple, I mean really just one and then a little sum. And this one's getting on a little bit of the silly side. But it's my favorite question. And I have to give a shout out to the Hero Nuggets podcast, because they ask this question when they've had guests on, and it is my favorite question. I don't know why, I love it. But if you could have any useless superpower, and it's got to be useless, what would you choose?
Oh, it's got to be completely useless?
Just to provide an example, maybe my favorite one I've ever heard is you can be invisible, but only when yelling.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I know.
Shit. I don't know if I can top that. Invisible only when yelling. Oh, if I could have a useless superpower. I don't know, man. Like, I would like to be able to open a jar of pickles. Like, is that...
Specifically pickles.
Specifically, yeah. Like, I just want to be... I don't need superhuman strength, but like, without conducting a physics experiment, like without running a pickle jar under hot water and like beating the fucker with a knife, I'd like to be able to open a jar of pickles. I think that would really, like any jar of pickles, like that would be my superpower. I can open any jar.
That's a good one. I think that's useless in like the superhuman realm, but certainly that's a good one. I really appreciate it. I would like that too. Yeah, no, I would say that's pretty useless. You can't, maybe you're going to throw pickle juice at somebody, but.
I think I just had difficulty with lunch today. I think that's really what this question is telling everybody. I'm just raging.
And you're like, I need my Vlasic.
It's not, you can't make a tuna salad sandwich without a pickle. It's like.
What? I've never heard that.
What? You need relish or you need something.
No way. I do lettuce. I like a crunchy tuna sandwich, but I've never thought of pickles.
Tuna. So you like mix a little bit of mayo with a little bit of tuna, a little bit of like chopped up celery that gives you that crunchiness.
Oh, man.
And then slice. I take sandwiches very seriously. I don't know if you've noticed this.
As people should.
Yeah. I'm Andy, all right? I live on tuna and oatmeal. That's where I am in my life.
You're making me realize that where I am in my life is a place where I didn't eat lunch today, and I might have to go for the tuna pickle sandwich. So just to tie this up, do you have any final thoughts for people to mull over in the weeks leading up to GDC?
Not really. I think you should just wing it. I think most things in life are more fun if you wing it, and I think GDC will be more fun if you show up. Don't look at the schedule ahead of time. Just get your ticket, go to GDC, go to what seems fun at any given time. Go with the flow. GDC's always I don't know. I've gone to every GDC for the past 7, I believe. 7 or 8. No, 7. So this will be my 8th.
Wonderful.
They have all been fun.
Cool. So just wing it. Is there anything you want to, I thought of the word, by the way, plug. Do you want to plug anything? Like maybe your talks again and your indie biz that we should be keeping an eye out for?
Oh yeah, should I do a giant marketing spiel?
Oh yeah, this is why you're here.
I'm not in the zone yet. Shoot.
Elevator.
Okay. The Flame in the Flood is a survival roguelike title that is in early access right now on Steam. We will be coming out very soon, officially, and we're going to be announcing our launch date next week. So definitely keep your eye out on that. My name is Gwen Frey, and I work for a studio called the Molasses Flood. And I will be giving 2 talks at GDC this year. One will be with this lovely lady here as the Micro Talks, the Animation Bootcamp, and one will be animating quadrupeds, which will be part of the main conference.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on your Saturday.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Again, my name is Lana Bashinsky, and look forward to episode 2 coming at you whenever Mike and Tim feel like releasing it. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you at GDC.